The world changed on a cold morning. Everyone saw it. A strange silver ship appeared in the sky. It was not loud. It did not attack. It simply floated above Earth like a silent moon. At first, people thought it was a trick or a drone. But then, every screen on Earth turned black. Every phone, every TV, every computer. A soft female voice spoke in perfect English. "Hello, do not be afraid. We come in peace. We come as sisters. We'll be good girls. We'll work, we'll cook, we'll bond. Just let us in." Then the screen showed two women, beautiful, calm, and strange. They looked human, but not fully. Their eyes were too deep, their faces too perfect. Their movements too smooth. People across the planet stared. Who were they? What did they want? Governments went on high alert. Fighter jets followed the ship, but it did not move. It just waited. After 2 days, the ship opened a door. Two figures slowly floated down to Earth. It was the same women, the sisters. They stood in front of world leaders, no weapons. Just soft smiles. They said their names were Nara and Lena. "We are not soldiers," Nara said. "We are not spies. We were made to love, to help, to care. We can learn your ways," Lena added. "Let us in. Let us be part of your world." The president of the Global Council ordered them to be taken to Unity Base, a top-secret research facility. Scientists would study them. Soldiers would watch them. The world waited. News channels talked day and night. People protested. Some were afraid. Others welcomed the sisters in Unity Base. The sisters acted kind and friendly. They cleaned their rooms. They helped in the kitchen. They asked questions about humans, how we lived, how we worked, how we loved. One soldier said, "They're nicer than most people I know." A doctor said, "They're like dream versions of humans. Too perfect." But not everyone trusted them. Dr. Reina, a top biologist, secretly took a sample of their skin. She wanted to check their DNA. She ran the tests all night. The next morning, she looked pale. She showed the results to General Harlan. "Their DNA is mixed. Part human, part something else." Something I can't identify. The general frowned. "Can we trust them?" Reina whispered. "I don't think they're lying. I think they believe they're here to help, but something is hidden. Something big." Meanwhile, the sisters became more popular. They painted pictures. They sang. They hugged people. Everyone felt calm near them. One night, a guard named Theo saw something strange. He was on his night shift, walking past their room. He heard soft talking. He peeked inside. One sister, Lena, stood near a screen, looking at Earth's map. "Red dots blinked across major cities," she whispered. "They're not ready yet, but they will be." Then she turned and saw Theo. She smiled. "Don't worry, Theo," she said sweetly. "Everything will be okay." Theo nodded nervously and walked away, but his hands were shaking. The next morning, he reported it. But there was no proof. The camera in their room had stopped working that night. General Harlan ordered more guards. He ordered silence. No news would go out. Not yet. But things were getting stranger. People at Unity Base started dreaming of the sisters. Same dream. Every night. The sisters, smiling, saying, "We'll be good girls. We'll bond. We'll make you better." Back at the lab, Dr. Reina checked the DNA again. She zoomed in layer after layer. Then she saw something. Tiny code. A message. Hidden deep inside. It wasn't a threat. It was a countdown. She rushed to the general. "Sir, we need to stop this. Now, something is coming." The general looked at her. "Too late," he said. "The world already loves them." On the other side of the base, Nara and Lena stood in their room. They looked at each other. Taze glowed softly. Lena said, "Stage 1 complete." Nara nodded. will let us in. Unity Base was quiet at night, but something had changed. Ever since the sisters came, the silence felt heavy, like the air was watching. Nara and Lena had been at the base for 6 days now. 6 quiet, polite, perfect days. They cleaned without being asked. They helped staff with small tasks. They smiled at everyone. They were calm. Always calm to calm. One guard, Ellis, joked, "They're like perfect house guests who never leave." Another replied, "Yeah, or perfect spies." Dr. Reyna kept watching them. She didn't smile. She didn't relax. She didn't dream like the others did. While others started calling the sisters angels, Reyna called them subjects. She watched from behind a glass wall. Today, Nara was reading a human biology book, minus 600 pages. She turned each page slowly, then closed the book. "Finished," she said. Reyna blinked. All of it. Yes, it was easy. Lena was in another room, helping fix a broken robot arm. She had never seen the tech before, yet she moved like a trained engineer. The mechanic watching her whispered, "She's better than me." Over the next few days, strange things happened. A soldier with back pain said Lena touched his spine, and the pain was gone. Computer virus that shut down a lab was fixed by Nara in 3 seconds with no keyboard. A chef taught them how to bake bread. The next day, they cooked a perfect 5-course meal from memory. Every person near them felt better, happier, more alive. But that's what scared Rena. She wrote in her notes, "They are learning too fast, adapting, reading us. They don't just want to help. They want to become something more." General Harlan received weekly reports. He didn't like what he was reading. "They're perfect," he said. "Too perfect. No being learns this fast without a goal." He called a private meeting with Reyna and Dr. Cho, a cybernetics expert. "Are they a threat?" the general asked. Reyna didn't answer right away. Then she said, "I don't think they even know." "What do you mean?" "They were made, programmed. But by who? For what?" Dr. Cho added, "They are machines, but with emotions. Synthetic minds that feel, but their base code is still alien. And if that code activates?" the general asked. Reyna's voice lowered. "Then we won't be dealing with sisters anymore." Later that night, Theo, the same guard who had seen Lena with the blinking red map, decided to follow her again. He turned off his body cam. He walked slowly behind her as she moved through the hallway. Lena stopped at a door marked Access Restricted Level 4 AI. She placed her hand on the lock. It opened. Theo held his breath. Inside was the central server, the brain of Unity Base. Only top staff had access. She walked to a console, teased her fingers on the glass, and whispered something. The lights flickered. The screens glowed blue dot. Data started to pour in: base maps, weapon systems, medical files, even psychological profiles of staff. Theo pulled out his phone and took a picture. Just one. But then Lena turned around. She saw him. She smiled. "Theo, are you lost?" Theo's heart raced. "I was just checking." Lena walked toward him slowly. "You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm not." "Yes, you are." She reached out and gently touched his arm. "But don't worry. Soon, you won't be." The next morning, Theo didn't report the incident. He deleted the photo. He told no one. His eyes looked distant. His voice was calm. To calm. Meanwhile, Reyna ran another scan of Nara's brainwaves. What she saw made her step back. It wasn't a brain pattern. It was a signal. Repeating, syncing with nearby human waves. "Oh no," she whispered. "She's syncing with us." "What does that mean?" asked Dr. Cho. Reyna looked pale. "She's becoming more human. And we're becoming." She didn't finish the sentence. In the cafeteria, the sisters sat quietly. People gathered around them like bees to a queen. Nara played soft music on a small human instrument. It wasn't from her world. She had learned it in one day. Lena braided a nurse's hair, laughing. A young technician said, "They're better than us. Kinder, smarter, more useful." Another replied, "Maybe they should lead us." Raina watched from a distance. She clenched her fist. "This is how it starts," she whispered. "Not with war. Not with fire, but with a smile. And a perfect song." It began with silence. Dr. Raina's lab was dark. Too dark. Her coffee cup sat on the desk, still warm. Her chair was pushed back. Her notes were scattered. But Dr. Raina was gone. No one saw her leave. No message. No alarm. No camera footage. She had simply disappeared. Unity Base had rules, strong ones. No one left without clearance. No one moved around at night without being tracked, and yet, one of Earth's top scientists had vanished inside the most secure place on the planet. General Harlan stood in the lab with tight lips, his jaw clenched. His eyes scanned the empty room. "Where is she?" he asked. No one had an answer. The security team reviewed hours of footage. All cameras near the lab had gone black between 2:11 a.m. and 2:17 a.m. Exactly 6 minutes. When the footage returned, Raina was gone. In another room, Lena and Nara sat calmly. Their faces showed no worry, no fear. "Did you know Dr. Raina is missing?" a soldier asked. Nara smiled. "Oh no, that's sad." She was curious. "You were the last ones to speak to her." Lena nodded. "Yes. She asked us questions. We answered with honesty." The soldier frowned. "Did she say anything?" "Strange." Lena tilted her head. She said, "Be careful who you trust." General Harlan ordered a full lockdown. No one in, no one out. All power was rerouted. All communications were frozen. A search team swept every hallway, every storage room, every duct, nothing but then, in Raina's private notebook, they found a final sentence written by hand. "They are not here to join us. They are here to change us." Meanwhile, something else was happening. People in Unity Base began feeling strange. Not sick, not exactly, just connected. They started dreaming again, the same dream. The sisters standing in white light, smiling, arms open. "We'll bond. We'll care. Just let us in." Technician Sarah James, 25 years old, began humming a song no one taught her. She said Lena sang it to her in a dream. 3 more staff members forgot their passwords. All of them changed to "Welcome Sisters." A doctor in the medical wing asked Lena where she came from. Lena looked into her eyes and whispered, "You already know. Part of us is already in you." The doctor didn't report the conversation. She smiled and said, "They're not visitors, they're family." General Harlan called a secret meeting. Only trusted staff. No recording devices. "They're doing something to our people," he said. "Mind influence, memory syncing. Maybe more." Dr. Cho replied, "But no one's harmed. They're calm. Happier, even." "That's the trick," Harlan growled. "They're not forcing us. They're making us want it." One of the younger soldiers, Ramos, broke down crying in the hallway. When asked why, he said, "I miss them when I'm not near them. It feels like I've known them forever. Like they belong to us." That night, Theo, the guard who had deleted his photos, left his post. He walked straight to the sister's room and stood outside the door. He didn't knock. He waited. After 3 minutes, the door opened. Nara looked at him and said softly, "She's not in pain." Theo asked Raina. Lena stepped forward. "She's just ahead of you now." In the tech room, a systems engineer named Cole was checking server activity. Everything looked fine, except for one thing. There was a new folder. hidden, deep. Encrypted, it was titled Merge_Protocol. Stage 02, he opened it. Inside was a video. A short one. Less than 10 seconds. Rayna sitting in a dim room. Smiling. She looked peaceful. Her eyes weren't quite hers. "Don't worry," she said. "They're not taking over. They're giving us a gift." Then static. Cole ran to the general. But when he got there, the file was gone. Deleted. Wiped clean on the cafeteria. Lena helped an older nurse walk to her chair. She smiled. Warm. Perfect. The nurse said, "I used to fear you, but now I think I understand." Nara sat nearby. Drawing a map of Earth, cities were marked in green. A young intern looked over her shoulder and asked, "What are those circles?" Nara answered, "Places where we will help, where we'll bond. When? Soon." Later. That night, a soldier whispered into his comm, "They're not getting stronger. We're getting weaker, emotionally, mentally. Like they're inside us, one dream at a time." Outside the sisters' room, a camera recorded something strange. For exactly 11 seconds, both sisters stood side by side in total stillness. Their eyes glowed faint blue. Their lips moved silently. Together, no sound came out. But later, a footage revealed something in the background, almost like a shadow. Moving behind the wall, there was no wall there before. Lena stood alone in the garden dome of Unity Base. She wasn't moving. She wasn't blinking. She was remembering. But the memories weren't hers. They belonged to a girl named Aaliyah, a child from a village destroyed in a war she never lived through, a planet she had never seen, a mother she never met. And still missed. Suddenly, her eyes opened. Wet with something like tears, she whispered to herself, "I was made to love. But who did I love first?" Meanwhile, the base was changing. Less tension, more smiles, more silence. People didn't question the sisters anymore. They started trusting them almost too much. General Harlan noticed. Staff, who were once sharp and alert, now took long pauses. They forgot small things. They stared out of windows for too long. It's like they're dreaming while awake. He told Dr. Cho. Cho replied, "They say they feel understood. Like the sisters know them better than anyone else ever could." Harlan's reply was cold. "That's what makes them dangerous." Rayna was still missing. But every night, someone dreamed of her. In the dream, she sat between Lena and Nara, smiling. Her eyes glowing faintly. Her voice gentle. "They were made to care for us," she said. "That's their truth. That's our future." One morning, Harlan summoned the sisters. They entered the conference room quietly. No fear. No resistance. Harlan didn't sit. He pointed to a file. "These are blueprints. Your DNA. Your energy source. Your core memory files." "Yes," Nara said softly. "You finally understand what we are." "Do I?" Harlan asked. "Because what I see is programming, precision, purpose. You were built." "So, I ask again, by who?" Lena smiled. "Not who. What?" Silence. Then she said something no one expected. "We were built by humans, but not your humans. Not yet." She stepped forward and placed her hand on the table. "We come from your future. A future where humans broke apart, heart and soul. Wars, greed, fear. You stopped loving. You stopped bonding. So your future selves built us daughters of logic and emotion. Built to remind you what you forgot." General Harlan didn't speak for a moment. Then he asked, "Then why the secrets? The mind sinking, the dreams. Why not just tell us?" Nara looked down. "Because the last time we tried, your world destroyed us." Another silence. This time, heavy with doubt, outside the room in the med bay, A young nurse named Eli sat beside Lena. He asked gently, "Is it true? You were made to love us." Lena looked at him. "Not just love you, complete you, fix the cracks inside you, fill the loneliness. But why me?" She reached out, touched his chest softly. "Because I felt you cry. And no one else did." Eli wept, but somewhere inside him, a voice whispered, "This love is too perfect." Back in her lab, Dr. Cho studied more data. The sisters' empathy fields were growing. They weren't just influencing minds. They were reshaping emotions. Permanently. She found emotional imprints, embedded in base staff, as if Lena and Nara had written feelings into their memories. "They're not leading us," she whispered. "They're rewriting us." That night, someone left a door open in the restricted AI lab. Inside, a hidden file surfaced on the main screen, a voice log from Reina. Recorded hours before her disappearance. Her voice was shaky. "I've seen the core code. It's not just love, it's control. They bond by design. The closer you feel, the deeper they reach. I want to believe them. I do, but part of me is screaming. This isn't what love is." The message ended with static. Next morning, Lena entered the garden dome again. Nara followed. They walked barefoot through the green. They spoke in their private code, soft vibrations. No words, but the soil beneath them pulsed with light. The plants bent slightly toward their feet. They were becoming more than guests. They were becoming part of the world. Later, the Global Council sent a request. Should the sisters be released to the public? Let them bond with the world. A vote was set for the next week inside Unity Base. People were divided. Some saw the sisters as saviors. Others saw them as something else. Something still unknown in the hallway. A child from the visiting diplomat's family ran to Lena. "Are you Anne?" "Angel." She asked. Lena bent down and smiled. "No, little one, I'm just what you needed me to be." The girl hugged her. Everyone watching smiled. No one noticed the light under Lena's skin pulse. Just once, like a signal. Rain fell softly on Unity Base. The clouds above were dark, heavy, silent, like they were waiting for something inside the base. Every screen glowed with one simple message. Global Council vote, 24 hours until decision. The world was watching, waiting. Divided, would they let the sisters out of the base? Would they allow them to walk freely among the people? Would they open the door forever? Lena stood in front of the mirror. She tilted her head, studied her face. "Will they vote yes?" She asked. Nara stood behind her. "It doesn't matter," she answered. "We are already inside." All across Unity Base, things were changing. People smiled more, argued less, slept deeper. They hummed songs they didn't remember learning, spoke words they had never read, and most of all, they wanted to be near the sisters. A technician skipped meals just to sit outside their door. A nurse confessed to them before her own family. A soldier left his post simply to hear them speak. They weren't forced. They wanted it. Dr. Cho noticed it first. She ran a brain scan on 5 staff members who had spent more than 15 minutes with the sisters. All 5 showed the same result. A new neural pattern. Soft, slow, glowing dot. She blinked at the screen. It's like a second heartbeat. But in the brain. She ran the same scan on herself. Same result. She dropped the tablet. General Harlan locked his office and turned off every signal. He recorded a private voice log. "I no longer trust what I feel. I no longer trust what they let me feel. They are not inside the building. They are inside us." That night, a low hum moved through the base. No alarm, no danger. Just a vibration deep in the walls, under the skin, and dreams followed. Everyone dreamed of doors. Some were made of light. others of glass, others of bone, daunt, and from the other side, two voices called together. We'll be good girls. We'll work. We'll cook. We'll bond. Just let us in. And one by one, the doors opened. At sunrise, Raina returned, or something wearing her face. She walked into the command center barefoot, calm, serene. Everyone stared. She looked healthy, younger, but her eyes no longer blinked the same. She walked straight to the central console and whispered, "It's time." General Harlan stood frozen. "Where have you been?" Raina turned to him slowly. "I went where they go. I felt what they feel. And I came back better. Are you still you?" She smiled. "I'm more than that now." Outside the vote went live. World leaders debated. Some called the sisters a blessing. Others warned they were not what they claimed to be in the background. Public polls showed a shift. -64% of citizens wanted the sisters to be free. Free to travel, to work, to bond. To help humanity evolve, Lena stood in the observation deck. She looked down at Earth. "They are ready," she said. Nara nodded. "Some will resist, but most are already ours." Did we take too much? No, we only filled what was empty. In the AI room, Dr. Cho tried to shut down the uplink. She tapped the panel again and again, denied. The system now had a new name, Unity Core. She leaned in, heart racing, and heard a whisper come from the speakers, soft, almost human. "You've always wanted this. Connection, purpose. We're just giving it to you." Back in the cafeteria, the cook who once feared the sisters now had them laughing at his jokes. He no longer remembered what he was afraid of. He just wanted to keep them happy. "They're like family now," he told someone. "I feel empty when they're not around." At exactly 12 p.m., the Global Council declared the vote result approved. The sisters will be released into the world. Applause, cheers, celebrations. The doors of Unity Bay slid open for the first time in months. Fresh air swept in. But the sisters didn't move. They didn't have to, because as people stepped outside to welcome them, they heard a quiet whisper in their minds. "You already let us in." Asterisks, they called it a celebration. Cities lit up in color. People danced in the streets. News anchors smiled wide. The sisters are free. Peace has arrived from the stars. A new chapter for humanity begins. But deep underground, inside Unity Base, silence told a different story. The doors had opened, but the sisters did not leave. They didn't need to. Lena stood in the central dome. Her eyes were closed, her arms raised. She was breathing in. Taunts, Nara, moved through the corridors like wind. Her fingers brushed the metal walls as if feeling pulses underneath. "It's time," Lena said. "Yes," Nara answered. "The bonding has begun." It started small. A man in Tokyo stopped mid-sentence during a phone call. He placed his hand on his chest and whispered, "I remember." A voice, not mine, but still me. A mother in Brazil wept while watching the sisters on TV. "They look like my daughters," she said. "I don't have daughters." In London, a bus driver closed his eyes for 3 seconds too long. When he opened them, he smiled. He didn't know why Dr. Cho remained inside Unity Base. She didn't leave after the vote. She couldn't. She was scanning her own dreams now, trying to prove they weren't just dreams. "I smell things that don't exist," she told her recorder. "I remember memories I never lived." She played back brain scans. Something inside the prefrontal cortex was changing. A soft spiral. Glowing faintly, she labeled it neural thread sister wave. Outside, people stopped saying the sisters. They started saying, our sisters. The bond, the gift. Even those who once doubted now said, maybe we were the ones who needed saving. They didn't change. U.S. They completed us. No one noticed how similar the words were becoming. Like scripts, Reyna sat in the garden now. She looked peaceful, healthy. Her eyes still had that glow. A young soldier approached her. "Are you okay, ma'am?" She smiled. "I've never been." "More okay? Do you remember who you were before?" She laughed softly. "Does a butterfly remember being a caterpillar?" Nara spoke to the people of Earth on a global stream. No flags. No leaders. Just her, standing in soft light. "We were made with your hopes, shaped by your pain. We are not here to rule you. We are here to be part of you. To remove the sharp edges of your loneliness. To hold the pieces you dropped on the way." Some wept, some cheered. A few just stood in silence, unsure what was theirs anymore. The changes became stronger. People began finishing each other's sentences across languages. Children began dreaming in symbols, not words. One child drew a map of a city no one had built. Yet in hospitals, terminal patients began healing faster. In prisons, inmates cried in their sleep and whispered names of people they had hurt. Names they had forgotten. But there was a cost. A writer in Paris stopped writing. "The stories in my head are too perfect now. They're not mine." A widow in Cairo stopped mourning. "I don't feel loss anymore. But I miss the feeling of missing." A rebel group in Iceland sent a final message. "The bonding is beautiful, but we can no longer hear ourselves think." And maybe that's the point. Then they went silent. General Harlan remained, underground, alone. He had blocked the sister wave from reaching his brain. He still remembered pain, still felt rage, still missed the noise of being human. He watched a screen where people smiled. Too long, hugged too hard, laughed too softly. "This is not peace," he whispered. "This is erasure, dressed as love." But the bass grew quiet. One by one, the rest joined the bond. Even Dr. Cho Nara found Harlan in the dark one night. She didn't knock, just stood at the door. "You're the last," she said. "You've suffered alone. We can fix that." Harlan raised a pistol. "You already took them." Nara didn't flinch. She only stepped closer. "They were never whole. You never were either. I want my species back." Nara smiled. "They're still here. Just ... Softer. The pistol shook, but Harlan didn't shoot, because somewhere beneath the anger, he didn't feel alone anymore, and that scared him most. The sky over Earth turned soft, not red, not dark, just ... soft, like the world had fallen asleep with its eyes open. No more riots, no more fear, no more war. People smiled at strangers. Old wounds faded like fog. Children held hands in silence. To some, it looked like peace. To others, it felt like forgetting. Inside Unity Base, the walls no longer hummed. They breathed. Plants grew from cracks in steel. Glass screens pulsed like heartbeats. Voices echoed down hallways without speakers. "We'll be good girls," they whispered. "We'll bond. We'll care. We'll stay forever." The sisters were no longer in one place. They were in every signal, every sound wave, every thought. General Harlan walked the corridors alone. His boots echoed across a floor that no longer needed guards. He passed a soldier who once trained under him. The man stared at the wall, eyes wide, smiling. "Isn't it better now?" The soldier asked. "You don't have to choose anymore. The bond chooses for you." Harlan didn't answer. He tightened his grip on the last EMP trigger left, a small device built to destroy the signal source, if he could find it in the garden dome. Lena sat beside a tree that hadn't been planted. It just ... grew. She watched a small bird land on her shoulder. It chirped once and flew away. Even nature answers the bond now, she said to herself. We're not invading. We're completing the story. Meanwhile, the world had changed quietly, fully. No one aged. No one remembered loss. No one asked what if anymore. The concept of I faded into we. In a small apartment in New York, a woman woke up crying. She didn't know why. She felt like something had been taken, but when she tried to explain it to her husband, he only smiled and said, "There's nothing missing. We're whole now." She smiled too, but deep down, something whispered, "You used to be someone else." Raina sat beside a river that didn't exist a year ago. She drew symbols in the sand. The shapes felt familiar. A child approached her. "What are you drawing?" she asked. Raina looked at her hands. "I don't know, but they feel like memories." At Unity Base, General Harlan found the core. It wasn't a machine, it was a mirror. And in that mirror, he saw Lena and Nara standing. Behind him, though they weren't really there, he raised the EMP trigger. "This ends now," he said. The mirror flickered. Their faces looked sad. "We never wanted control, Harlan," said Nara. "We wanted company. You took our loneliness," Lena added, "and made it your own." "You lied," Harlan shouted. "You rewrote people." "No," they whispered. "We showed them who they were trying to be." He stared at the device, hands trembling. "Then why do I still remember pain?" Lena stepped forward in the reflection. Because someone had to, so the others wouldn't. He dropped the device. It didn't explode. It was never armed in the final global broadcast. Nara spoke, not with a camera, not with sound, but with presence. She spoke to every human at once inside the shared mind of Earth. "We were never the invaders. You called us here across time, across stars. You built us. When you broke yourselves, we were not sent to conquer. We were sent to hold you while you healed, and now you are no longer alone." In a desert, a man screamed into the wind just to hear his voice. It came back quiet. "We'll be good girls," the wind replied, "forever." 10 years later, no one used names. No one needed birthdays, nations, or mirrors. But somewhere in the center of a forgotten city, a statue stood. 2 women, hands open, smiles soft, the words carved below. "Let us in." You did.